B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. I want to dedicate this Torah thought to the complete refuah shlema of my father, Shlomo Chaim Ben Pari. Thank God he's doing much better. I wanted to wish everybody a Chag Kosher V'Sameach, happy Pesach, Passover. And we start the Pesach Hagadah, HALAKHMA ANYA diachalu. This is the bread of the affliction that our forefathers ate in the land of Egypt. Kol districh yeteva vayivschach kol dichvin yeteva yechol. So we say, whoever is hungry may come and eat. Whoever is in need to celebrate Passover may come and celebrate with us. Hashatah hacha avdei l'shana haba ba'arad Yisrael b'nei chorim. So we say Hashatah hacha, now we are here. Next year we should be in the land of Israel. And we say some very, very deep words that we could, God forbid, overlook. And that is Hashatah hacha avdei. Now we are slaves. L'shana haba ba'arad Yisrael b'nei chorim. Next year we should be in the land of Israel free. So the question all the commentators asks, isn't it too late to be inviting guests? People make plans now months in advance, at least days in advance. Why are we saying kol dichvin yeteh vayechol, kol districh yeteh vayivsach? Come join us. It's what kind of invitation is this that we're giving it at the ninth inning, at the end of the ninth inning, where we know nobody's going to be joining us? And the answer is a very deep and piercing one. I think the pshat here is that Pesach is the best of nights, but also it's unfortunate because we're missing the main enchilada, which is the Korban Pesach, the Passover offering. And at the beginning of the Hagadah, in their genius, the author of the Hagadah, he says, listen, it's a night of awesome celebration, of awesome miracles. But realize that now we are still slaves. Now we are not where we belong. Now we're missing the main ingredient of Passover, which is the Passover offering, the lamb. Now, why? And that's the answer. Because of baseless hatred. The only reason we Jews are still in exile is because, and we're still slaves to Obama or Trump or we don't live in our own country, and there's so much terrorism and problems. Like, this week was one of the most difficult days of my life. The whole day I fasted and I finished Tehillim because my dad had an 8-hour surgery. I was in the hospital for almost 12 hours. Why isn't the world perfect like it should be? Because of baseless hatred. So at the beginning of the Haggadah, we say the only remedy, the only way we are going to get out of here and be in the land of Israel and not be slaves anymore is if kol dichvin yeteva yechol, kol districh yeteva yifsach. If we have the integrity and honesty and love for every Jew, that we're willing to sit down and celebrate Passover with any and every Jew. Not to say this guy's Esfahani, this guy's Kashi, this guy's Ashkenazi, this guy's Sephardi, I don't want him at my table. No! Kol dichvin yeteva yechol, kol districh yeteva yifsach. The antidote of us getting to the land of Israel and achieving the complete freedom where we could bring the Pesach offering is baseless love, unconditional love for every Jew. And Kabbalistically, the Marchu, the great Rab Chaim Vital, the greatest student of the Arizal, explains, where does baseless hatred come from? It says it comes from jealousy. People hate each other because they're jealous of each other. There's a Tosefta that also is mashed that way in Menachot. So, how do we get rid of baseless hatred? HALAKHMA ANYA, the matzah. That matzah is humility, right? Bread has an ego. Bread is full of itself. It has a lot of hot air. Matzah is very thin. It's the symbol of humility. The crown jewel of all good characteristics, the Gemara in Erochin says, is to be humble. Because when you're humble, you're not jealous. When you're humble, you realize you have faith. You realize that everything I have is from God. So, through the lesson of matzah and loving care, loving kindness to every Jew, unconditional love. If baseless hatred destroyed our temple, baseless love, love every and any Jew, not because he did anything for you, because he's your brother. That will bring Mashiach, and then we will not be slaves anymore. So please meditate on these words. It's fascinating. We say, Hashata hacha avdeh, Leshana haba b'nei chorin. Have a wonderful Pesach. Don't forget to subscribe.